To return to my story. The ceremony was simple and took place at midnight, naturally. The 3 initiates were required to go to a ruined house just outside the college grounds. In turn, we would be blindfolded and given a candle. We had to walk to the house, climb the stairs, and light our candle in the window on the first-floor landing. Then we had to shout, as loudly as we could, "Hell is empty!" After all 3 had completed the task, we could take off our blindfolds and rejoin our fellows. Feasting and revelry would follow. Gudgeon, did I tell you that poor Gudgeon was one of the 3? Gudgeon was worried because, without his glasses, he was almost blind. But as I told him, we were all blindfolded anyway. A man may see how the world goes with no eyes.
So, I say, what's happening here? Something bad, says Peter. You're quite right, I say, counting to 10 silently. What makes you think that? Well, says Una, the setting, for one thing, midnight on Halloween. That's a bit of a cliché, says Ted. It's a cliché because it works, says Una. It's really spooky, with the weather and everything. What's the betting they get snowed in on the train? That's a rip-off of Murder on the Orient Express, says Peter. The stranger predates Agatha Christie, I say. What else tells you what sort of story this is? The narrator is so creepy, says Sharon. All that, have a drink from my hip flask and don't mind Herbert. Who is Herbert anyway? A good question, I say. What does everyone think? A deaf-mute? His servant? His son. Has to be restrained because he's a dangerous lunatic. His dog? Laughter. Actually, I say, Ted is right. Herbert is a dog. The companion animal is an important trope in the ghost story genre, because an animal can sense things that are beyond human comprehension. What can be scarier than a dog staring at something that isn't there? Cats are famously spooky, of course. Think of Edgar Allan Poe. And animals were often thought to be witches' familiars, helping them perform black magic. But animal characters can be useful for another reason. Can anyone guess what it is? No one can. It's mid-afternoon, nearly break time, and they are thinking of coffee and biscuits rather than fictional archetypes. I look out of the window. The trees by the graveyard are dark, even though it's only 4 o'clock. I should have saved the short story for the twilight session, really, but it's so difficult to cover everything on a short course. Time to wrap things up. Animals are expendable, I say. Authors often kill them to create tension. It's not as significant as killing a human, but it can be surprisingly upsetting. The members of the creative writing group go clattering down the stairs in search of caffeine, but I stay in the classroom for a bit. It's very strange being in this part of the school. Only adult education classes get taught here. The rooms are too small and too odd for lessons. This one has a fireplace and a rather disturbing oil painting of a child holding what looks like a dead ferret. I can just imagine the Year 7s trying to disappear up the fireplace like 21st century chimney sweeps. Most school life at Talgarth High happens in the new building, a 1970s monstrosity of plate glass and coloured bricks. This building, the old building, which was once called Holland House, is really just an annex. It has the dining hall, the kitchens and the chapel, as well as the head teacher's office. The first floor has rooms which are sometimes used for music practice or drama. The old library is there too, now only frequented by teachers because the students have a modern version in the new building, with computers and armchairs and paperbacks and carousels. The top floor, which is out of bounds to students, is where R.M. Holland's study is, preserved just as he left it. The creator.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.